Oh, you know, folks, good intentions, great. But why isn't Washington getting the job done? That's what I want to know. So let's talk. CNBC contributor, Washington Post columnist, and former Clinton OMB official Matt Miller. And we have House Republican Policy Committee Chairman, that being Congressman from Georgia, Tom Price. All right, look, Tom Price, $4 billion didn't include your own House spending cut proposals. It's really a weak-kneed deal. It buys you 2 weeks, but it's a long stone's throw from $61 billion, which sums annually to $100 billion. And guys like me think that would be a terrific shot in the arm for confidence and economic growth. So where's my $61 billion budget cut, Mr. Price?
Well, Larry, that's exactly the path that we're on. $4 billion over 2 weeks is $2 billion a week. That's $100 billion in 1 year. We can't force the Senate to act. What they did is say the $61 billion reduction bill that we put in their lap, they're ignoring it. So we said, all right, let's do 2 weeks, $2 billion a week. That's the $61 billion for the rest of the fiscal year. If they want to do it one piece at a time, that's what we'll do. But the Senate has been absolutely irresponsible in this. And today, for the first time, they said, okay, we come off the freeze of 2010 levels and we'll actually decrease spending. This is really big. I know it doesn't seem that way, but it's one step that gets us on that path to appropriate spending reductions, and a path to a balanced budget.
Well, I'm going to come back to you on that because I ain't so sure. But I want to go to my friend Matt Miller. Now, Matt, don't you defend the Democrats. I mean, your leader, Senator Chuck Schumer, he doesn't want any of this stuff. Every budget cut Mr. Schumer sees, he thinks is going to throw the economy into a double-dip recession. And even Ben Bernanke today said, go ahead and do the $60 billion. So, Matt, what should happen here?
Well, what should happen is not to budget by funding the government at 2 week intervals like a banana republic, because, Larry, we're like, what kind of model are we for the emerging Arab democracies? This is what a mature, advanced democracy looks like, where you're having, brinksmanship and showdowns every 2 weeks to fund the government on this stopgap basis. Crazy. I won't defend Democrats. Let me talk about the Republicans. The most advanced Republican thinker on the budget is supposed to be Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan's roadmap for America actually doesn't balance the budget until the year 2063, and it adds $62 trillion in debt between now and then.
Yeah,
the idea that he's called a fiscal conservative is a joke.
Oh, come on. Paul Ryan was on Maria Bartiromo on this network this afternoon saying, all right, I'll go to you, Tom Price. Paul pledged to put entitlements into the FY 2012 package, which has never been done before in the history of the earth, and I can't worry about 75 years from now. Not yet.
It's not 75 years from now. He put entitlements into his roadmap. His roadmap adds $60 trillion in debt.
Hang on a second. Entitlements are a bit of a smokescreen. Hold on, Mr. Price. I'm not kidding. Entitlements right now are a smokescreen. I don't want to lose sight of this $61 billion package. Do you want us to believe, people watching this program, investors and whomever, that you really are going to do what Matt Miller described as a banana republic approach? Pretty clever, Matt. Every 2 weeks funding our whole government. Tom, do you really believe that that is feasible?
No, it may be feasible, but it's not the right thing to do. No, but it's not what we chose to do. It's what the Senate chose to do. As my mom used to say, it takes two to tango. We're ready to sit down with the Senate and with the President and get to a budget that we can incorporate for the rest of this fiscal year. But look, Matt accuses us of not getting to balance in a reasonable amount of time, according to him. The other side never gets to balance. You've got to address these entitlements, and you also have to decrease spending at the federal level in a significant way in order to get our budget under our fiscal house in order and allow the economy to grow. We got to grow out of this in addition to decreasing spending at the federal level.
But Matt Miller, look, Team Obama is against the $60 billion cut package. Timothy Geithner's against it. Charles Schumer's against it. Harry Reid's against it. Everybody's against it. So we can sit here and talk about entitlements till we're blue in the face. But what about now? The current services baseline could be taken down by the equivalent of $100 billion. Back to 2008, Matt. And I dare say the Senate doesn't want to get it done and the White House doesn't want to get it done. And I'm speaking as a taxpayer because I think every dollar of spending cuts is a dollar of tax cuts to grow the economy, Matt Miller.
Larry, I think with respect, you're wrong-headed on so many levels. Let me just name just a couple. First, the Republicans don't even want to do $100 billion. That's why they're making their supposed cuts from Obama's inflated baseline that he proposed last year. If they really had the courage of their convictions, they'd be cutting from current levels of spending, not from Obama's inflated proposal, which, as your astute viewers know, is a way to pump up the number artificially. Second, Larry, you act as if government doesn't do anything worthwhile. The cuts in this tiny little segment of the budget, which is being fetishized, it's only 10% of the budget. Pell Grants, law enforcement, R&D, those aren't the things we should be cutting.
Matt, look, your side doesn't even want to cut anything at all. The American people are demanding cuts.
I don't have a side. I don't have a side.
Yeah, right. The American people are demanding. The American people are demanding cuts, and that's what we put on the table: appropriate, responsible spending reductions. We're going to do that. In addition, we're going to put forward a budget that will address the real spending, the entitlement, the automatic spending that the president absolutely ignored in a reckless style of leadership. So we're standing here ready to talk with the Senate and to discuss with the president an appropriate.
What's the next move? Tom Price, I'll get back to Matt in a moment.
Sure.
All those nice things, Matt, those are the nicest things he's ever said to me. I want to get right back to him, Tom. But let me ask you this. Chairman Price, what's the next move? In other words, you just got this 2-week package. It took several weeks to get the 2-week package and the $4 billion in cuts. What's the next move? Seriously, are we going to keep doing this piecemeal by piecemeal? How does this end? Where's the end game?
The next move is to say to the Senate, which we've done, look, we've passed a budget toward or a spending bill, the continuing resolution for the end of the year. Where's yours? We can't have a discussion. You can't have a negotiation with folks who don't even take a position. So let the Senate take a position, and then let's sit down and work it out. That's the way this is supposed to work. You're not supposed to do these 2-week things, but we were forced to do that because of the irresponsible activity of the Senate and the president.
All right, irresponsible activity. But Matt Miller, all those nice things you said about me, I'm going to give you one more. Take me right here. Slam me right in the chin. If we have to have a government shutdown to cut spending, Matt Miller, what's wrong with that? Well, why not? Wait, if not now, when? If not, who? Us. Come on. If not us, who? Who's going to do it? That's what Reagan said. Let me get that right. If not now, when? If not us, who? Why not shut that government down until Washington gets serious about representing taxpayer interests and stop bankrupting America?
I guess I think there's a different way to do it. Instead of it taking 2 to tango, I think we need 3. That is a third political force to stop the kabuki dance, if you want to use the dance metaphor, that has bollocksed up our politics in mutual dishonesty for years. I agree with Representative Price.
We're all in, Matt. We're all in. We're ready to go.
All right. You're all in. You guys make a great couple. I want to have you back. I want to look at this whole thing as it develops. Matt Miller, thank you. Congressman Tom Price, great stuff. That's tonight's show, everybody. I'm Larry Kudlow. Thanks for watching. Please join us tomorrow evening.